From the ground in Barkan, Israel, is the former Arkansas governor, host of Huckabee, Mike Huckabee. Governor, welcome.
Thank you, Brian, Steve, Gretchen, good to talk to you today.
Governor, give me the perspective that you're getting inside Israel about what's happening with their neighbor.
Well, I had a meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu yesterday, and then I met with about 15 Knesset members this morning, had breakfast with about 20 European Parliament members. The overall consensus is twofold. First, real shock and surprise all the way down to the average on-the-street Israeli citizen at how quickly the Obama administration abandoned a 30-year ally and really a long-standing friend to peace and stability, President Mubarak.
That's right.
I don't think anybody is trying to defend everything that he did as president, but they would have liked to have seen at least an acknowledgement that he's been a friend for all these years. So the concern is that if the U.S. will so quickly turn on that friend, how quickly will it turn on its other friends? And that's the sentiment that's shared by not only the Israelis, but by the members of the European parliaments from several European countries with whom I spoke this morning. The second concern is that this could have cascading effect across the Middle East throughout, I think, Israel. The concern is that if the two neighbors with whom they have peace accords, Egypt and Jordan, if those governments are destabilized and worse, fall apart into the hands of radical groups, it really leaves Israel with no border whatsoever and gives this very tiny and very vulnerable land a level of being fragile that it hasn't seen since 1973.
Well, that would be so horrific. But I do think that there's a difference in supporting a country like Israel as a friend and supporting a country like Egypt as a friend. I mean, I know that Israel obviously wants Mubarak to stay in power because it's been good for them in that situation. But I'm not so sure. Can you really blame the Obama administration? Because didn't the Bush administration handle Egypt the same way, and didn't the Clinton administration handle Egypt the same way?
There's been a long time concern from the part of Americans as to some of the heavy-handed ruling of Mubarak. I don't think anyone was expecting there to be a wholesale endorsement or even an indication that they hoped he stayed, but just simply an acknowledgement that he had, in fact, not done everything wrong, and had brought stability and kept a strong, even keel to the peaceful nature of the border between Israel and Egypt.
Right. And Governor, I read about Netanyahu today in one of the papers. It said that, you know, the last thing he wants is radical leadership next door. According to the McClatchy newspapers, the country of Israel wanted Obama to prop up Mubarak at all costs, is the quotation.
Well, I don't think the Obama administration could completely support Mubarak in light of what has been considered widespread human rights abuses, the lack of reforms. In one way, Mubarak was warned repeatedly that he needed to ease some of the manner in which he was ruling, bring some reforms, have real elections. But the other side of that, again, is just that there's no danger in Israel. Things are very peaceful, very calm here. There's no panic. But there is great concern for what may happen if Egypt falls, and then I think there's an assumption that Jordan will go with it, and it could cascade all the way to Saudi Arabia.
Governor, we got to get, when you come back, you got to come right to the couch. Tell us more about your trip and this very volatile time, because reports out of Jordan that they are making major changes in their government along with Syria certainly affects Israel.